So I just kind of did this video, and then my my size limit reached, so I'm gonna have to restart. All right, so where you're starting from, say here's your full coil. I'm gonna pry this top part off. Then at the bottom, you're gonna have this O-ring is gonna be in there, as well as a center pin. And you want to just kind of pull those out. You're gonna need them. Okay, so then you're gonna end up with this coil head. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take Kanthal, and we're gonna go around the end of this pin tip, kind of where the metal part is. We're gonna use where it meets the plastic, kind of as our stopper. And I'm just gonna show you what I'm saying here. Do I have extra strip? No, I don't. Okay, so you're gonna leave a little bit extra, like 4 inches. Ideally, you don't want to have this rat's nest of Kanthal. We're gonna do 4 wraps. You want to make one side, oh crap, one side a little bit longer than the other. Okay. Snip it, and I use these to pry the top off of the coil. Work pretty well. Okay, so we're gonna compress our coil down, nice and tight. Okay. So there's your coil. Sit on the end, kind of real tight. I'm going to take this one, top part. You want to kind of take your fingernail and then fold it down. If you have a pair of tweezers like this, you can take it and it works a little bit better. You just kind of pinch it. I know I'm going out of frame a lot. I'm going to try a stand frame. I'm going to pull the other one down, and you're going to end up with this beautiful coil, similar to that one on the ground. I'm going to go ahead and use this one because it looks a little bit prettier. Because I did this with, I did it earlier. Okay, so you're going to need a strip of, or a sheet of OCC. I have a just ridiculous gigantic bag that's going to last me like a lifetime. Sorry about that. Okay, so you want to get it kind of thin. We're going to cut it about 2/3 of your thumb width if you have a big hand. Oops, there we go. Okay, so it's not perfectly straight, but that's what we're looking for. Okay, so I'm going to take this. We're going to kind of measure it around our coil. And I know there's extra, and that's okay. It'll kind of stick together when we get it together. So you want to kind of measure out the kind of how you want it. And you kind of want to just have a little bit extra, but not too much. Okay. So there's our coil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cotton and I'm going to wrap it around there just kind of tight. But you don't want to get it over the top. You want to leave the top open. And you don't want to cover the bottom too much. So we're going to take the tip of our pin. Same thing, we wrap this around. I find the head of the coil that I lost. Here it is. Okay. Stick the long leg in first. You're going to just kind of try to keep the cotton stuck around the coil. Just kind of like the exact opposite of what I did. Okay. I'm trying to do this quick so I don't hit my size limit. So I have to use my phone because I don't own a camera. I can't do it in 4K because, well, size. Okay. So it looks like it's pretty well wrapped around there. I'm going to just kind of leave the top bare. Just get that roll tight around the coil, but not too tight. Stick this in here. Sticking it in the coil head right now since you can't see it. Push that in there. And you want to kind of get it to where the tip of your pin is about at the bottom, and then push up a little bit. Like push with the pin and then push the legs. And you want to make sure that there's cotton kind of sticking through both those holes. And this is the perfect spot. So now we're going to take our rubber little grommet thing for the bottom, take it around the long lead. Just trust me on the long lead. And you want to try to not move the coil at all. Just if you have it in the perfect spot, you can see the cotton through both sides, it's perfect. Leave it there. It's really hard to get in the right spot, and it's a really hard coil head to rebuild on rather. Okay, so I'm just trying to stuff this in there really, and I need to not do it like that. get this upside down like I must. Just make sure you kind of have the thicker part of it at the top. Should go in a little bit easier now, maybe. Okay. Take your tweezers. Shove it in there. Goodness gracious. I can't get it in there. There we go. Before you get too far, I would make sure there's cotton covering up those holes. Okay. Get our center pin in here. Again, take it over the long lead. So there you go, you're about done. Take your short leg, trim it off kind of flush, and if you have tweezers or like a knife, just kind of push it in there. Your goal is to get it against the side wall and the rubber grommet. If you could just push it in there. I can barely see it. Or I would imagine that you can do this, and there's a little notch there. At least where I have it, we can probably just leave it like that, to be honest. Okay, as long as it's trimmed down, it should be okay. We'll see. And cut that off at the bottom. You want to try not to pull your coil out, and if you do, it's okay. Just kind of tuck it back in there. Okay, so there's our coil. Before we put the top back on and get too far into this, we're going to put it in our good old trusty ohm reader, aka 30-watt E-leaf. If we can get it to thread in here, it may not go in there. Hold on. Goodness gracious. This will not go in there. I don't know why. Probably because of that wire we didn't strip, or not strip, but cut and push back in. There we go. Now it's going in. Okay, so what I did is I took the base off. As you can see, you want to be able to see through there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pin and I'm going to tidy it up. That's good. Okay, screw in our base so we can check it, make sure it's reading our coil. It says we're right at 1 ohm. And let's find some nasty E-juice to waste. Okay. This is, I didn't really like this one. It wasn't bad. It was just too appley for me. This is Applesaucy Sin. Again, from don'tdrinkmyjuice.com. Well, not again. I guess I didn't say it in this one, did I? Okay, so I'm just kind of dropping it on top. I'm going to let it, just going to drink that up. And there's not a whole lot of cotton to get soaked up in juice. As you can see, it's firing. I guess I can't really vape off of it. One sec. We're going to use the one I made earlier because I don't want to try to conserve juice, and I don't want to vape applesauce and banana cream pie. But one more thing, the last thing you need to do for this is take this center part. It's crucial that you do this, and you can leave it in the mod when you do it, or in the base or whatever. And just set this on top and take a pair of pliers wherever and just tap it in. Okay, so I'm going to put this coil back in here. Get my tank back together. If we can do this before it reaches the size limit. Okay. This reads at 0.8. So if you do, like, I don't know, you can do one less wrap, or you can do it a little bit different. Let's do a vape. So, you know, it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty okay vape. It's a pretty okay vape. Has decent flavor. And I use 28 gauge Canthol. I would imagine if you used a higher gauge and did more wraps, it would work a lot better. but all I have with me right now is 28. So again, if you're looking for a vertical coil build on your Protank, because you broke your eye sub-tank, it's doable. It's not too hard. It's, you know, it's something to do. See how backwards I can do this video. So what I used is OCC 28 gauge Canthal, old man knife, pair of tweezers with flat ends, pair of dikes, scissors. I use these like surgical scissors because they cut really nice. And the way you want to get the cotton off is you want to kind of peel a thin layer off. You want to wrap the coil, and you want to you're shooting for something similar to that. Similar, not the exact same thing, but similar. Girlfriend's hair is everywhere. Ugh. But anyways, if you have any questions, you know where to go.